Old storage warehouse, Monday.
I saw it. I'm sure. Your corpse, Iris. Right here.
But I'm here now.
You were
Maybe
there
I'm a
then, too.
ghost.
You don't look like a floating sheet. You have legs.
But maybe they're not legs. Maybe they're my boobs.
I tried to picture Iris's dress swinging down there like that, and then I decided not to.
Didn't you say that you saved me in your dream? What did you mean by that?
I told you that I'm with an organization called Abyss, right?
Yeah, you told me 2 days ago.
We find clues in the minds of suspects and witnesses. We enter what we call Somnium, a dream world projected by their subconscious. That's what the entire organization is about.
How do you even do that?
Science.
We have a machine that we call the sync machine.
What is that?
It's a sync machine.
That's not an explanation. Tell me how it works.
Well, I can explain, but it will require a bit of background to understand.
Background?
So you see these forklifts. You have to be forklift certified to operate them. The sync machine is kind of like that. You have to be sync certified to operate it. Do you know BBB?
I've heard of it. The blood-brain barrier, right? Inside the skull, there's an army of little teeny tiny soldiers that surround the brain. They protect the brain from bad stuff in the blood, right?
That's almost it, yeah.
The blood-brain barrier describes the architecture of the microvessels of the brain. It is a kind of shield that protects the brain. To get through, an object must be no larger than 0.4 nanometers. Objects too large to slip through the barrier cannot physically access the brain.
Do you know about nanotechnology?
Nanotech? Yeah. Technology related to really small things. Like really teeny tiny things. And when they make a machine, they're called nanomachines. I heard they use them a lot for medical and tech fields. Some of the cutting-edge nanomachines can even go inside your body and cure illnesses. They can even cure cancer. And they go beep, beep, beep. That's what Mom said. Well, I don't know if it was like beep, beep or rrr. But anyway, nanotechnology costs tons of money. Only a few people can even afford it. My college professor said only the richest of the rich have nanotechnology. But he's pretty liberal, so...
Largely accurate.
Yeah, Iris really just said that sounds like some liberal bullshit.
Power. A nanometer is therefore 0.0000000001 meters. The sync machine uses machines approximately 2.16 nanometers long. Viruses are on average 20 to 970 nanometers, so sync nanomachines are far smaller than that. This allows them to access neural circuitry. During a sync, the nanomachines are used to write in the syncer's data.
Do you know about the Wadjet system?
I guess not.
No, I know what it is. It's the core programming behind AI, right?
That's right. What's wrong?
What?
You're shivering.
It's nothing. Don't worry about it.
To borrow Pewter's explanation, with the advent of the Wadjet system, we can extract the data of the human psyche. This data is sent to the brain, which achieves the sync.
Here's how sync works.
Okay, you have the basics down. Let me explain how syncing works. Syncers like me equip the sync gear and use it to access the subject's brain. Inside the helmet are nanocables, and on the tip of each of these cables is a special nanomachine. But the machine can't reach the brain through blood alone. Do you know why?
The BBB soldiers say, "Go away," and push them back?
Well, yeah, kind of. But for the sync to work, we have to get the nanomachines into the brain itself. How do we do that?
Drill a hole in the skull?
No.
In Shovel Forge, you can use a pickaxe and...
No, it has nothing to do with tools. We don't have to open a hole. Skulls already have holes in them. One of those holes is the optic canal, which is a nerve canal located behind the eyes. The nanocables of the sync gear go through your eyes, then go to the back of your eye socket, then through the optic canal to the sea.
The sea?
The sea of brain cells, anyway.
That sounds kind of romantic.
It's only a chunk of protein.
We'll continue with the explanation.
Once the nanocables arrive at their destination, they can begin the sync process. They slide into the brain like roots of a tree. And on the tip of each cable, the nanomachine sends and receives data. This is controlled by the Wadjet system. And that's how the syncer and the subject exchange information.
Exchange?
Think of it this way. The human brain has a max capacity of one psyche, one consciousness.
Multiple instances of consciousness inside one brain can cause a total collapse of higher brain functions.
You know how a car only has one steering wheel? If there were two, there would be accidents all over the place.
Well, don't some planes have 2 control sticks?
Okay, maybe it wasn't the best metaphor. What I'm trying to say is that the human body can only hold one person. If you try to have 2 people inside one brain, it will break.
I see.
Continue.
Because of this, the syncer's data goes inside the subject's brain. And the only thing inside the subject's mind at the time of the sync are their memories. Like a house with no one inside. We syncers break into the house, look for clues, and leave. All within 6 minutes.
There's a time limit?
Yes, or else the house will collapse on our heads.
The neural circuits would become too deeply entwined with one another. To put it simply, the syncer would be trapped inside the subject's house.
Summarize for me.
Thank you for explaining it. I don't completely understand how sync works, but still.
Just don't tell anyone. This is extremely confidential.
It's okay, I won't. Date, tell me this. Who did you sync with yesterday?
Didn't I show you his picture? Congressman So Sajima.
So that's why you know so much about him.
But you've never met him, right?
I haven't, I swear. Hey, Date, you saw my corpse here, right?
Yeah, right here on this table.
I'm sure of it.
And in So's dream, you saved me from getting killed.
Yeah, right there on that dock.
And then somehow, I resurrected.
Yeah, right there in your living room.
Date, that means you're... Achoo!
Date, is the cold too much for Iris?
Yeah, I'm freezing too. Iris, let's get out of here for now.
Roger that!
Well, let's go to Matsushita Diner. I'm sure Ota will have no problems at all with us being on a date with Iris. And I'm sure his mom will have no problems at all with Iris being there.
Tessa? Why are you here?
I told Date I was hungry, so...
I've always wanted to eat here.
I'll have my usual, Ota.
Yes, right away.
Ota flew into the kitchen. Iris watched him go and took a seat. So, Ota, how are you?
She's in the living room. I think she's watching TV.
How about you? What are you doing here?
I was just doing some meditation, lying on the ground.
He means sleeping.
Fair
Date,
enough.
why are you with Tessa?
We are...
Not Shovel Forge.
on a date.
Oh, a date. Huh. A date?
I'm on an investigation, and she wouldn't let me go.
Date, I have some delicious fugu eggs. I promise they're not poisoned. Would you like some?
No thanks. I'm fine.
What about you? You're good at cooking, huh?
Yeah. My dad taught me when I was little.
You're making me something too, right?
Sure, my treat, Date.
It's not poisoned, is it? Oh, where is Renju?
You're still looking for him? Well, like I told you before, I don't know.
Just cooking in the kitchen. What about you, Iris? What's your usual?
Omelet rice. Ota's omelet rice is so good it gives me stomach cramps.
Is that a compliment?
I'm not sure that's a compliment.
You're embarrassing me.
Well, Ota appears to have taken it as a compliment.
About Iris's resurrection.
Iris, about your coming back to life.
Hold it! What do you mean coming back to life?
I decided to tell Ota about Iris's resurrection.
Date jumped into a parallel world where I'm still alive.
Tessa died?
Yep.
About the parallel world.
Hey, can you tell me about this parallel world idea in more detail?
Oh, sure. How should I explain this? Well, oh, I know. Let's play rock, paper, scissors.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, if we tie, nothing happens. We just shake hands. If I win, you have to give me something.
What if I win?
I'll do anything.
Anything?
Mm-hmm. Anything.
Like the way Date said
Your
anything.
heart rate is rapidly increasing. Why exactly is that?
All right, let's do this.
Okay, let's go. 1, 2, 3, shoot.
Scissors.
Shoot. Yay, I won.
Oh, no. You see, this looks like scissors, but it's actually paper.
That doesn't make any sense.
No, why did I throw out scissors? Why?
You're really not taking this well.
So I get my prize.
I don't have any money.
I don't want money. Instead,
Yeah?
can you pet my head and say Iris is a cutie? The cutest person in the whole wide world? A cutie angel?
I think Ota might murder me if I do.
Iris is a cutie.
No. Put your heart into it.
Iris is a cutie, the cutest person in the whole wide world. A cutie angel.
I repeated the whole thing while patting Iris on the head. Ota looks like he's about to drop
We
dead.
just played rock, paper, scissors, right? I won and you pet me. But in a different timeline, maybe we tied. Or maybe I obeyed your orders and did something really scandalous.
Rewind time, do it now!
I do not have that functionality.
So those timelines are what I'd call a parallel world.
So you think I jumped from a world in which you were dead to this one where you're alive?
That's what I think.
Huh. Parallel world, huh? I can't believe it, but...
Sure you can. Parallel worlds exist.
I mean, that's absurd.
know about
Nobody
the
would make a
Mandela
video
effect?
game series
Or the
based around
Booba-Kiki
that.
effect?
And,
Or
you
the
know, like,
100 million balls. If I
the
explain that,
9
would you believe me?
persons in a ship with 9 doors.
Sounds really
and 9
interesting,
hours to
Tessa.
escape. That'd be ridiculous.
I know some urban legends like that. The spatial temporal man, and the lost friend,
Come on.
and the story
Parallel
of two
worlds.
sisters.
That's absurd. I mean, that just it sounds like a 0 time dilemma, you know? There's no time. I don't believe in it. What about Mandela effect?
Do you know Nelson Mandela?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. The former president of South Africa. He helped abolish apartheid.
He died in 2013, but a strange thing happened. When the news broke, people all over the world thought, didn't Mandela die in prison in 1980? That's the Mandela effect. It's when your memory and history have discrepancies. There are lots of examples, like the name of this kid's book with the bears having different spellings, or people remembering that Kennedy was assassinated in a 4-seat car. But in our world, he was in a 6-seat car.
Huh. I thought it was a 4-seater too.
Or that electric mouse from that video game. You probably remember the tip of its tail being black.
It wasn't?
Pikachu?
Nope, it's all yellow. And the design didn't change.
Oh.
Lines from movies, company logos, historical events, and little things. The Mandela effect is everywhere. Why do you think that is?
Because those memories are from parallel worlds?
That would explain it, I guess.
100 million
This
balls.
world is full of really interesting stuff. But you know the most interesting thing of all?
No, what?
That humans exist at all.
The universe developed in a very particular way to get here. If things were even slightly different, well, the galaxies and solar system and all of that might not have existed at all.
And that means humans would never be born. And even if everything happened exactly like that, the probability of human life developing is extremely low. And yet, here we are.
Fair. 100 million balls.
Imagine a box full of ping pong balls, labeled 1 to 100 million. Would you be able to pick out the 1?
Not likely.
But what if there were 100 million of you?
Well, then one of us would definitely pick up the 1.
Exactly. The birth of humanity is so improbable that it's basically a miracle. But if there were multiple universes...
Then it wouldn't be strange that at least one of them had humans in it.
She is describing the anthropic principle. I may have underestimated her intelligence.
The Bubakiki effect?
Dante, look at this picture.
There's a
There's a
picture on the
famous
phone.
experiment regarding this picture. You show this image to people around the world and ask a question. Which one is Booba and which one is Kiki? Believe it or not, 98% of people asked have the same answer. The rounder one is Booba and the jagged one is Kiki. Isn't that weird? In other words, everyone thinks that Booba is a certain way and Kiki is the other. It applies universally across languages and cultures. It's like something ingrained inside all humans. Like worshipping the sun and the sea, or thinking that the mother is soft and the father is jagged. Regardless of your culture or background, you probably think this way. It's what Jung called the collective unconscious. There exists a second psychic system of a collective, universal, and impersonal nature, which is identical in all individuals. That's what Jung said about it. Think of it like bamboo. Bamboo stalks look like individual plants since they're separated. But underground, they're all connected. Human psyches might be like that too, connected at a subconscious level. That's...
A parallel world?
Yeah! You saved me in the dream, right? And dreams are all about our subconscious minds. So if you follow the roots...
You get to another bamboo stalk.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know. I'm not convinced. Oh, the two sisters?
So, there's this girl. Let's call her B. She's practicing piano in her room, and her little sister is watching TV in the same room. B asks her to turn the TV volume down so she can hear her piano playing, you know? So B goes back to practicing, playing a little bit. But her sister doesn't turn the volume down. She's not listening at all. So B turns around to scold her. She was really gonna let her sister have it. But she's gone. She's nowhere to be seen. She thinks, I wonder where she went. But then B hears her sister at the door. I'm home. B runs to the front door and sees her sister and her parents standing there. So B asks, when did you go outside? But her mom says, what are you talking about? She went shopping with me. B is really confused by all of this, of course. She asks her little sister about it, and she learns that her favorite TV show was on. And before she went shopping with her mom, she was deciding whether or not she wanted to stay and watch it or not.
So depending on her decision, a parallel world was made.
Yeah, What B saw might have been from the world where her sister stayed behind.
Yeah, but I'm still not seeing how this connects with the whole Datu changed reality or jump to it. And I guess the parallel world thing of there's a parallel world from him saving Iris in the dream, but that still shouldn't affect reality.
There's this kid, A. He's in elementary school. Well, A had this close friend named Suzuki. One day, after school, they're walking home together. A turns around to tell Suzuki a joke, and Suzuki is laughing his butt off. And he's laughing and laughing, and he laughed so hard that his eyes fell out of their sockets.
What?
Well, they were hanging down out of his eye sockets. The nerves were still connected, but A is of course in shock and doesn't know what to do. Suzuki just takes his eyeballs and jams them back into his eye sockets and keeps walking like nothing happened. So A asks him about it. Like, hey, are you okay? Your eyes fell out. A is really concerned for his friend, you know? But Suzuki just says, yeah, I'm fine. He doesn't say anything about it. And by now, A is really curious. But he's not getting any answers, so they just part ways and go home. The story only gets weirder from here. The next day, A goes to school, and Suzuki's not there. A is confused and asks his teacher about it. Hey, where's Suzuki today? And the teacher says, Suzuki? Who's that? There's no Suzuki in this class. A says, what are you talking about? And he goes and asks all of his classmates about Suzuki. They all say the same thing. I don't know him. There's no Suzuki in this class.
So that kid must have jumped into a parallel world without Suzuki.
That's what I think.
Okay, but was the eye thing relevant to that? Iris, we can leave if you want. I mean, we don't have to stay here and listen to this crazy man.
Couldn't Suzuki just be an imaginary friend or something?
No, A was really serious about remembering Suzuki.
It is weird. And there's no way you can pop your eyeballs back in like that.
Well, not necessarily. There's such a thing as a dislocated eye. It actually isn't too hard to put your eye back in if it falls out.
Ota is correct. Dislocated eyes are easy to replace in their sockets. As long as none of the nerves or blood vessels were damaged, there are usually no lasting negative effects either.
But that doesn't prove this Suzuki exists.
Well, I guess not, but...
Spatial temporal man?
Yeah, it's sort of like a common experience. A lot of people have experienced waking up in an uninhabited world they've never seen before. And most of them describe seeing the same person. The spatial temporal man. He's supposed to be an ordinary old man wearing work clothes. The spatial temporal man guides people back to the real world. He tells them, this world is not for you, or something.
I'd like to meet him someday.
And what about others?
So, this elementary school kid, let's call him C. He goes to school and there's a bunch of things on the floor. Postcards, towels, a coffee cup, rice bowls, a sink, lots of stuff. But C realized that those were all things from his own house.
How did they get to the classroom?
No one knows. It's not like anyone did it on purpose or there was a thief or anything.
Maybe something happened that made two parallel worlds fuse.
Yeah, maybe.
Summarize for me.
When did you two get so knowledgeable?
Oh, I don't know.
Tessa is always writing about this stuff on the internet. That's why I decided to research it too. That's how I learned all this stuff. Oh, hey, I know about conspiracies and secret societies too. I find that stuff fascinating. If you want, we could talk about those.
Maybe next time. Now where's that omelet rice?
Done!
You brought the dish over. You laid out an omelet rice in front of me and Iris. Iris grabbed her spoon with a huge smile
Bon
on her
appetit.
face. Picked up a spoonful. No, actually, she tried to pick up a spoonful.
Tessa, are you okay?
I'm fine. My hand slipped. Let's eat.
Iris and I ate the omelet rice in near silence. There was no conversation, just the sound of the spoon hitting the plate. The diner echoed with it. Before long,
Thanks for the food.
Iris was totally re-energized. Her face was back to her usual easy smile.
That was good. OJ, your omelet rice is seriously the best.
Yeah, it was actually really good.
Aw, thanks. I owe it to my dad. He taught me well.
Paid for the food and stood to go.
Let's get going, Iris.
Thanks again.
Thank you. Come back soon.
Just standing next to Iris. Let's go to Marble.